I'm up on the internet. Finally. This is Ava from the Temple of Consciousness giving you your latest update on this crazy adventure I'm on. For those of you who are new, I've moved to the Big Island, Hawaii, to the furthest eastern point of the islands in a very, very remote area, off-grid. And I'd say this is off-grid because I've been without electricity, water, that is bathing water, toilet flushing water, essential water. There's water here in a catchment, a huge basin of water, which I've been washing my dishes and things in. So there is water, but also there's no internet. All of the equipment to turn the electric on, to activate the water, including the heating of the water for a shower, and the internet are all the responsibility of the tenant, which, when I moved in, I did not anticipate it being so enormously expensive. Now, ultimately, when it's all done, theoretically at least, I will then have a lower rent than, say, somebody else in town, in Pahoa, the little village here, in close by, relatively close by, about 10 miles from here. So there is, modicum civilization fairly close, but to get out here is difficult. There's a difficult road out here, so your car also has to be roadworthy. And so I don't know about you, but I've never installed Starlink before. And this is what gives us the satellite internet connection. Living out here is absolutely beautiful, because it is beautiful. Nature's very wild out here, very close. Nature heals. I perhaps have gravitated here because I needed healing. I'm a refugee from the Florida hurricanes that hit recently in October last year, 2024. And it was devastating, financially, physically, emotionally. And I had lived for 18 years prior to living in Florida. I lived in Hawaii, but on Maui. Now I've decided to try Hawaii because Hawaii's more like I remember Maui being in 1990 when I moved there. More simple, more raw, more real. So I thought, well, and cheaper, theoretically. So I thought, well, the best thing to do is move off-grid to find peace and quiet, have as few neighbors as possible, and pay a lower rent. Well, I found most of the above, but this particular property owner insists that each tenant that comes in commits to the place by having to purchase their own solar system, solar generating system, and all the propane for the stove. I have to buy my own stove. I have to buy my own refrigerator, which I did today. So we're up. I have internet, which cost over, and I'll tell you, it was $358 for the unit, but putting it in from a remote area like this is almost impossible. So I had to call in expert help. So that expert help was actually more expensive than the unit itself. It was $558 as they just they just left, and now I'm up on the internet, so now I can create my videos and upload them from home, which is what I have been waiting for. And so I can begin this enormous change, and reflected in that change is not only my environmental change, but my personal inner transformation that's been taking place at high speed since I've arrived. I'm 73 as of March 1st, just a little while ago. And it's an adventure I would have done more smoothly, perhaps, when I was in my 20s or 30s. But in my 70s, it's a daunting task. I arrived and I became ill, I suppose, from the various pressures and stresses I was feeling. And I never get ill, never. Because I teach yoga, because I eat so well, and because I have a very strict routine. I have always remained very, very healthy. And when I arrived here, I think the future being so malleable, so almost frightening in its possibilities, I succumbed to that and I got ill. So there I was, ill. But I was also in a household at the time that I got on Craigslist that was also a little hostile to my way of living, which is in absolute harmony with nature and with one another. And so in that sickened state, I had to find what I was really looking for, which was peace and quiet, love and kindness, and a natural environment that was nurturing and healing. I found all of those, but at a price that I hadn't anticipated. This has been thousands of dollars I've had to spend. And plus buying a new car, or an old new car, put me back $5,000 there too. And I've lived most of my life below the poverty line as far as my income, because I'm a yoga teacher all my life. And I only ask for donations, always have. And so consequently, there's very little support for someone in my position, except to keep on working. Oh, it's windy. To keep on working, doing what I love to do, which is the tarot and yoga. So being out here now, having to wait so long for the internet, I've considered what approach I'm going to take now that I have to absorb my environment and let that environment speak through my creativity. So I've decided to do tarot forecasts, just like I always have, the 4-card spread. I love the 4-card spread. First card representing what is significant in the coming month, the topic of the month, if there is such a thing, and then, or for you, if there is such a thing. The second being your challenge, the third being the unexpected event or experience or even psychic phenomenon, and fourthly, the outcome. But I thought I'd add a yoga posture and a hand mudra that relates to the information in the reading, bringing together yoga and the tarot in a sort of spiritual wedding. I have a beautiful balcony here. I mean, one of the best I've ever seen, with a view of open sky. You can hear the ocean at night. And just at night, because there's din of other noises around you, wind. But sometimes you can hear the ocean. It's a mile and a half away. This environment is so pure, so clean, so fresh, that it heals whether you intend it or not. I feel that a yoga hand mudra would be appropriate for you if you weren't able to apply the yoga posture that I'll recommend for that month, those events. A hand mudra is a proximate or an approximation of a yoga pose. And it being the hands that are used only, the hands then take on a spiritual significance. And the gestures that they make are in a loop, a spiritual loop to the mind, the spirit, the soul, intention. So by various gestures of the hand, you can access the benefits of a yoga pose. So I'm going to include hand mudras, one for the month, and one pose for the month after the reading. I think in that way, we're bringing the spiritual aspect of yoga, the tarot, and as far as this environment and me sharing this environment, this healing environment with you, this is going to be an ongoing project. I am going to get a dash cam for my car once I could afford it. And I'll take you along on some of the road trips that I've taken already. I've been here since November 15th, I believe, on the Big Island. And I've taken some wonderful even the roads just around where I live are just fabulous. I'd like you to see that. My landlord, who's coincidentally a dragon, as I am, born in the year 1952, dragon, water dragon. He's a water dragon, and he was a professional hiking guide in Haleakala, in the volcano of Maui. And he's taken hikes here, people on hikes here, to the volcano here, which is presently erupting. So that will be an exciting trip, journey, adventure that I want to bring you along as well. I want you to experience it with me. So these are the things I have planned in the future. In the meantime, since I just got up on the internet, I have to focus on creating the very first video, and that will be Aries, because it's your birthday, Aries. So I'm going to do Aries first, and then as I'm going to be here at the house and I can upload from here, I'll try to make this series of signs, videos, tarot readings as quickly as I can, just to catch up. But I appreciate many of your messages which encourage me and forgive me for being disconnected and having to go through all this transition without bringing you along, because there's no internet. I couldn't do it. So now that there is, the whole thing is about to begin. And so I look forward to our journey. I have so many ideas now that I'm here. It's like a creative whirlpool. It feels like. So I want to do so many things, but I have to be systematic and just introduce new concepts to you as we go. Because for me, now that all of it's in, this is a fulfillment of a dream. And it excites me, and it encourages me, and it inspires me. And so I want to dole this out in a fashion that's rational, reasonable, and doable. So please have patience. Yet you've had patience. Now I'm asking for your help in any way. If you can support these readings that will be coming up, that would be very nice, as I've again had an enormous drain of finances just getting here. And somebody recommended that I show you all the elements of living off grid, of setting it up, and I will, because I found it fascinating myself. Now I can't show you the sort of incidentals that happen, visiting some old gentleman who does solar, and his personality, and where he lives, he's not far from here, and all the encounters I've had with this island is chock full of experiences and characters. Everyone you meet is sort of a larger than life sort of person. And so it's very interesting to me that they have all gravitated here to the Big Island, and I enjoy meeting them. I do want to show you the practical aspects of this, which can be daunting, I'll admit, but can be done. Obviously, I'm doing it. So with patience and with enough resources, you can make it happen. But you have to be very, very careful, because it can drain you, which has been doing for me. Because once you commit, then you find one problem after the other that needs solutions that you didn't even know that there was a possibility of those problems coming up. So that's what's daunting about the situation. So in the back of my mind, I'm a little, worried about the financial aspects, but the beauty and the absolute purity of the air here. Breathing is our primary physical function. I'm a yoga teacher, and being allowed to breathe such pure air is a blessing beyond anything. And so it's worth it for me. All this stress and turmoil is worth it for me, at least. So all that said, I'm going to just work on producing one video after the other starting tomorrow, so that you're aware that tomorrow will be Aries, and then all the fire signs, Leo, Sagittarius. Then I'll pick another element like water or fire. Pardon me, Aries is fire. So water or fire or another element. And then I'll do all three until we're done. So, with that, thank you so much. Namaste. Thank you for your support. It's needed and very much appreciated. There's a donation button below. If you can donate, I thank you very much. And aloha, namaste.